roll.
Welcome to Two Human Hearts, a podcast of illuminating discussions, expert insights, and stories of resilience.
Find a cozy spot and come along with us as we dive into honest conversations from our two human hearts to yours.
Huzzah. Did it. Nailed it.
Great.
All right, so...
Oh, yeah. Hey, True. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Alice. I'm good. How are you? I think your shirt might answer my question.
My shirt answers the question. Can you see? It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's
okay,
fine.
and is the cat... There's like a shark behind it.
He's on a raft.
Oh, there's two
in
sharks.
the water. Being surrounded by sharks.
Clearly not
Don't worry,
fine.
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. There's a certain point in which you're like, is that coping or is that just like dissociation/delusion?
This is what I have. This is the continuing conversation I have with my therapist. Yep. Except it's over that
just the
dog. Have you seen the dog comic?
Probably.
It's like a dog and he's sitting at a table with like a cup of coffee and the room is on fire. And he says this, it's fine. Everything's fine. And he sips his coffee.
Yeah. I do think that would be a fun game for, I mean, anyone. But since we are millennials and this is the experience we were talking about for millennials, is it coping or is it delusion? I mean, we could argue they are both coping. Yeah. Like, is it,
are we like toxically avoidant? Or are we just the right amount of avoidance? Because it is avoidance.
Is it benefiting me or is it not benefiting me? Is the question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Which time period are we talking about? Are we talking about right now? Or are we talking about later down the road? Because generally it's always benefiting you right now.
Yeah, right now. I'm totally good.
right now? Ooh, we're golden. We're golden.
Right now I'm fine.
So, I
keep looking down at my cat. I'm sorry. I'm just
like... Is it rude to say I didn't notice?
No.
Okay,
I didn't
notice. So, social cue check. Is it rude to say? What do we want to talk about today?
What do you want to talk about? Hold on. Let's just do a little intro. Intro. Okay. Hi everybody.
Hi.
So glad you're here. So glad you're here and to join us on Two Human Hearts podcast. True is here with us, licensed therapist, crochet extraordinaire, and theater buff, and all around fun person. Love you.
You know, the amount of hours you spent with me in a very dissociated state as a child, that means a lot.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah. And this is Alice. Alice is a incredible mom of 3 and a former professor of human development and family studies. Did I get that right?
Yes.
I'm like, I also have a bachelor's in that, but let's try to pretend like I remember what that's called. And then also a wordsmith. One of the most technical word people that I know. I could always call you with a word question and I'd be like, you may or may not know this. And you were like, oh, it's this. And actually the etymology of that is, you would always tell me. And I was like, I was amazed because my brain doesn't work like that. And it's hard for me to learn a lot of those things, but I could always learn it from you because you were always so excited about it.
I think that just means I'm a word nerd.
Yep, I think that is what?
Word nerd.
The fact that made you excited is true.
Oh, I'm ridiculous, and I am in a mood today, so this should be real fun.
Well, by in a
should be
mood, what does that even
entertaining.
mean? By in a mood, do you mean you're expressing your emotions freely and not worrying about what that means? Because I love that for you and everyone.
Yeah, I think silly. I think if I had to put a word, I would say I'm in a
Okay,
silly kind of mood.
it's
And
fair.
yes, not caring that the silly might be weird to other people.
You know what? It better be. It better be. Okay, if you aren't flagging my behavior as unique to me in some way, yet also, I don't know, just interesting and, like just hits like a bit different, then I'm doing it wrong. I feel I'm not really being myself. Like, I better not. Like, we're not shooting for basic, just putting that out there. We did basic for a long time.
No more. Okay, so what should we talk about today? What's on your mind?
Literally, for the first time that we've ever done this, I don't have anything right behind my. I almost said right behind my eyes. What am I trying to say? There's no one home? What am I trying to
I
say?
was about to say, like, when you said, I was about to say, behind your eyes? Like, that's a common phrase that everyone in the world
No,
uses.
that's
What's
so
behind your
good.
eyes today?
What is the behind my eyes today? Do you have a thing that's on your mind today?
Okay, what about caring what other people think?
You mean like emotional literacy? I like the literacy term because it helps us recognize that it's something we can gain. It's a
Mm-hmm.
skill. And while sure, maturity also takes some intentional effort, I think it also gives this idea that it's going to just happen on its own. And while that's semi-true to a certain extent, as we know in the human development realm, there is a point at which, okay, like there's your baseline now. And you really do have to put this intentional work in. It's not just gonna happen. And when we use the word like emotional intelligence, I think that implies that some have it and some don't. And that you just like get what you get. And then you have to deal with that. And other people have to deal with what you get. And you don't have to do any work around it. So I appreciate emotional literacy, though of course we use them very interchangeably. And really, that's what that is, right? I mean,
I think it is. And I think I like literacy because it can be built upon just conceptually. However, if you're looking for information on that, I would just use the search term emotional intelligence because that's probably where you'll find more of the information. Um, but thinking about it not like how we traditionally think about IQ, where it's like kind of set, which by the way, IQ is not set. It's not.
an old dog can learn new tricks.
An old dog can learn new tricks.
Hot
IQ
take.
can be improved upon. And also, the IQ measurement is not a one size fits all or a one stop shop for figuring out how intelligent someone is.
You
And
mean
even the author of the IQ like assessment, he even said, this is not what that's for. And everyone just took it. And then they're like, this is your IQ for life. And that's it. And that's not what I meant. So,
took it as a way to measure ourselves, prove our intelligence, and then totally compare with other people? That's amazing. Yeah, no, and besides, that was someone else's. I appreciate that he said that. That was someone else's measure, right? And who might be a different gender than you, might be a different identity than you, might be a different working class, might be a different race, might be a different ethnicity, might be
yeah,
probably lots of different things. And
all
either
kinds of
way,
different things. Yeah, no.
yeah, yeah. And uh, really, if you're looking to improve upon, well, first of all, if you've recognized, wow, I'm caring about what people think, it's keeping me from being the person I want to be, congratulations, you've done one of the hardest parts.
So,
Seeing that as seeing the pain of the problem with a clear recognition of what you can do about it, that is the hard, I think, the most bewildering work, the hardest work, in that it's like trying to see something you can't see before, like trying to make it clear. Once you see and you want to address it, I mean, I do think the most effective route really is a tutor in emotional intelligence or emotional literacy, aka a therapist, because they're going to tailor it to
yes.
you. Because really what needs to happen is you need to get to know and accept yourself. It's not really about not caring about what people think. That's actually the outcome, right? Not caring about what people think to a certain degree where it's comfortable is an outcome of meeting, getting to know, and loving yourself. And then we are able to do that for other people. And it's not really as simple as if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. It is more, you will, until you get to know and love yourself, the first person you will be with for the rest of your life, you really aren't meeting the humanness of others in the best possible way. And you will constantly project your hate for yourself onto them and your lack of love and acceptance of yourself onto them. It's not really about them. Just like how their stuff towards you wasn't about you either.
This brings up something something interesting that my students always found kind of fascinating, which is the fact that our personalities and our understanding of who we are changes as we age. And previously, we kind of thought like, oh well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That idea of like, well, once you kind of reach a certain point in adulthood, your personality's set, your views are set, like you can't be changed. And the research actually doesn't bear that out. It actually shows that as we age, especially in middle adulthood, right? So probably from 35 through 55, our personalities are changing. And there's a shift in intelligence as far as emotions, as far as the social intelligence, right? There's an increase in empathy, and there's an increase in the importance of certain relationships. So a lot of relationships actually end in middle adulthood, but others become a lot closer because the prioritization of relationships that are healthy and helpful, for like it's a mutual helpfulness. This relationship makes me feel fulfilled and they fulfill me. So it's a shift in our focus to things in life that bring us peace and joy, and a shift away from things that are taxing or cause us to give too much of ourselves. It's an energy suck. And so we don't spend as much energy or time on those relationships or those things.
Yeah. 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 So some of it is, okay, when we say maturity, some things will naturally come with age. And it doesn't mean they won't automatically happen. I think it just means they feel more possible. The ability to let go of what people think will feel a little more possible as we are around 30. That's true. That's true. And we will rock back and forth. And being aware, it's something talking to my 15-year-old about recently, just a reminder that like, hey, just a reminder that insecurity, ultimately, that little voice making you question, especially like, what clubs am I in? Where are my grades going? Like that little voice, it's trying to help you guide your life to a direction that makes sense for you. It's trying to help you establish some things for yourself. And we would never think to question our status quo. We would never think to question the direction of our life, the things that we're doing, the people we're friends with, if we didn't have a little bit of insecurity going, is that serving us? Is that kind of who we are? Is that in line with what, but we've kind of like changed some things about ourselves. Does that friend support those things? Do we always feel anxious around that friend, or was this a one-time thing? Does our future look the way that we think would be something we'd be happy with? If we didn't have that insecurity, we would never think to question. So that's what it's trying to do for us, is give us a little bit of like a perspective check on, is this going where we want to go? It's like it's holding an impromptu urgent meeting of status quo, and is it serving our future? Love that for us. And when we're able to rock into, or we find ourselves going into more of a state of like confidence and calm, we just don't even think about it. It's not like each day we're like, you know what, today's a confident day. No, that's not really how it works. It's not how it works. We're just not as insecure, and our brain isn't feeling the need to check that. But it's trying to help us. It's not trying to ruin our day.
No, and I think it's important when we're talking about this kind of identity stuff, especially in adolescence. Identity and peer support is it's instrumental in our feelings of well-being. That's for all humans across life. And actually, many longevity studies, or studies that look at people who live the longest, those people have strong social support networks, and they have emotionally valuable relationships. So these are things that as human beings we seek out because there's a need for belonging, there's a need for family and support. And in the adolescent period, it's vital because it feels like a life or death situation. And if we think about it, if from like an evolutionary perspective, it was a life or death situation. If you couldn't find a group to be with, then you're going to be on your own, and your chances of survival are much lower. So as we find groups, there's a sense of safety in that. And we always are seeking that safety. That's why we feel that anxiety when we're like meeting a new person, because it is about survival. Okay, is this going to work out? Am I going to make an impression that's going to increase my social circle? Or am I going to totally muff this up and we're going to end up where we are now, which is without this extra friend in my circle?
Yeah, and we can read that as acceptance, which I understand. Sure, there's a piece of that. Like, will I be accepted? I think sometimes it's not to say like I can therapist explain your emotions and what you're feeling better than you can for yourself. It's not that. It's kind of more like we can feel that anxiousness. And sometimes it may not be the surface explanation. It can be like, I'm so worried about what this person thinks. I'm so worried they're not going to accept me. Or are we just feeling this primitive need for connection and we want it really bad? And that's partly what's motivating us. Beautiful. Beautiful. Of course, it's never just one thing. It's never just one thing. I just think for me, I'll speak for myself, it can be helpful to recognize, what are my emotions trying to do for me right now? What are they trying to tell me? How are they trying to support me? I think that's half the stuff with like inner child, is really just being able to give ourselves permission to be like, what is this? Like, we're kind of like reading the data report versus trying to shame ourselves into making the data report. You didn't make your emotional data report. Let's be clear. You didn't choose your emotional state. You can consciously choose to build skills so that your emotional states feel a little more in line with your experience more and more and more over time, or they feel more grounded or more understandable and less chaotic. Yeah, sure. And as you are experiencing them in the moment, you did not choose that. So this idea of, how do I make the strategy different so that I don't feel like I care about what people think in the moment? No, that's the litmus test. That is the data. That was not the choice. And no, you can't just choose different data all of a sudden. Data is gathered to better understand the cause or how to make it different. It's not gathered to then be like, but why is it this data? Like, what a silly research moment that would be. I mean, asking a researcher, asking for a friend. What do you think, Alice?
Why this data? I mean, that is actually fundamentally the first question that you ask in research. Why are you interested in this specific set of data? So, what's your research question? That's the first question that you ask. What's my question? What do I want to know? So, yeah, coming at it into like a relationship, what do you want from a relationship? What do you want your life to look like? How many friendships can you maintain, or do you want to maintain? What's your commitment level? These are the things that we subconsciously ask ourselves, I think. And, it's not like an easy answer. But I think as we explore relationships, we can figure out some of the answers to those questions. How
Yeah.
much time do I have? Is this relationship worth my time? And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. And, sure, there's going to be feelings associated with any relationship, starting one, maintaining one, whatever. But, the feelings are just information. It's just data points, like you said. So it's not telling you something's good or bad, or it's valuable or invaluable. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm feeling a certain way because of whatever circumstances just occurred. And then you sit on that and you think on it, and maybe you journal about it and you figure out, what does this mean for me in the long run? What does it mean for this relationship? And maybe it means nothing. Maybe I need to check myself and not react so much to what this person is saying to me. Maybe they were having a rough day. Maybe what they said has nothing to do with me and everything to do with whatever's happening with them at work. Whatever's going on.
Yeah.
It's just, the feelings are just information.
Yeah.
And we can just use that information to make decisions. And that's the only control and power that we have. What do you do with the feeling that you feel?
Yeah.
You can't control the immediate reaction of anger, of whatever. You can't, those immediate reactions are immediate because they come from our brain. And it's not a control issue. But if you take that anger and you project it outwards onto other people in relationships, there will be consequences for that. So what you do with those feelings is, there's going to be stuff that happens to you or for you or around you because of how you react or behave in association with a feeling. But the feeling itself didn't do that to you.
And to clarify, because I do think this is what you meant when you said, maybe I need to not react to that. What you're saying is, because we're saying, like, no, the reaction isn't within your control, like the emotional, not your actions aren't within your control. So that's the difference. You can have a feeling of reaction. You may even find yourself reacting. And now that this has happened, now you have a choice and a responsibility for that. Because the truth is, we can act like so much that there's a right and wrong way to do things, and that certain actions are the things we have to keep ourselves from doing, or people are going to hate us. And the truth is, in relationships, friendships, coworkers, neighbors, romantic relationships, like relationships with our kids, relationships with us with them, like all of these things, classmates, all these types of relationships we have, we can actually tolerate a lot of mistakes. We really can. There's a lot of things we can tolerate when that person takes responsibility. Because when a reaction happens, and by reaction we mean there are emotions on the inside, that's the feeling. The reaction is what we all see on the outside. It's the impact of what's happening. When that happens and someone explodes in their words, with their body, like whatever happens, someone has to take responsibility for that. And if the person who exhibited that, who said the words, who did the actions with their body, even if that was leaving, which may have been the best choice for them at the time, but whoever does that, if they don't take responsibility for it, everybody else is holding this all uncomfortable like a hot potato. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? What do I? And it's just uncomfortable. We're just like, I guess I'll just wait until they come back. I guess I'll just whatever. And when that person comes back and says, I want to apologize for my behavior, I recognize that wasn't okay. I am sorry that I took that out on you. I think I have an idea. You don't even have to share. You don't even have to give the lore for someone to recognize. You could say, it's something I've been working on in therapy. You might say, it's something I'm going to bring to a therapist. You might say, it's something that I've noticed as a pattern and I'm aware of it and I'm working to take I want to take responsibility for it. You don't even have to say, because of what happened in my childhood and my dad, like, you don't even have to divulge all of that for someone to usually understand and feel the release of that responsibility, because you said, sorry about that, I'm taking that back. That's mine. I recognize it's mine. And that person, it's so connecting. it's so connecting for someone else to take responsibility for their behavior, and you're sitting there, that makes you want to turn to them more because it builds trust. Sure, what you did may have eroded some trust, and I'm here to say repair can build the trust back and then some. You can actually gain this positive interest on that when that person follows through with what they said. It doesn't mean they have to do it perfectly the next time. And ultimately, if you are actually actively working on something, not just saying it whenever it happens, you will naturally improve over time. And people will see that that's the case. So it's not actually about not doing this and doing this thing right and whatever. It's just taking responsibility for your own stuff and naming it. Just naming, I know that was mine. I can take what's mine. Usually in those situations, it's never just one person that's the problem. And it doesn't matter. If you are waiting to take responsibility till the other person does, no one's ever going to. You just got to. And it's for you. It's for you. You're not doing it for them. To be clear, it benefits you. It also happens to benefit them. But that's not necessarily why we're doing it. Like, it's for you. And it's not, I have to take responsibility for this because I don't want the other person to carry it. Sure, that's part of it, but it benefits you. It really, really does.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
The repair aspect of relationships is so important. Because it does show the other person that you're taking some responsibility for your part in whatever argument happened. Maybe it escalated and you recognize that. So you're going to take responsibility for that. You're coming back to that person and saying, I want our relationship to be better. And I don't like that this happened. And here's what I did wrong. And I'm really sorry. And I'm going to do better. I'm going to work on this. And I hope that we can keep working on this together. And it brings you a sense of like, there's vindication sometimes, right? When your partner comes and says, oh, I did this and I'm really sorry. Yeah, you did do that, But there's also some solidarity that's built. Because if you don't think you're also imperfect, then we have other things we need to discuss together. But everybody is imperfect, and we're all making these mistakes in relationships. But if we both come together to repair when we have made this mistake, when we've caused some hurt, then the relationship will last because you're coming together, you're communicating, not just about finances or who's picking the kids up from school or who's going to make dinner, but we're talking about big things. We're talking about our feelings. And maybe, and I've had this happen in my marriage, but I overreacted to something that my husband said because of the way that he said it. And in my mind, he was saying something critical and something kind of sexist. And to me, I was deeply offended. And I walked away because I was getting very angry. And I came back later and I said, when you said this, I felt like you were calling me incompetent because I'm a woman and that you were disappointed in my actions and whatever. And he was confused. He didn't mean any of that. And so we get down to, oh, it's the way that you said what you said. Because if I took the words meaning on their own, it's just words. It didn't mean anything. It's like when he asked me, hey, what's for dinner? The implied message is what I heard. The implied message is, what are you going to make us for dinner, woman? Right?
Yeah, and really it's just because you were the one that was making dinner that night, and that was the understanding.
Or usually with him, it's hey, when he says we, what are we doing for dinner? That's what he means. What are we going to do for dinner?
Yeah.
We have a list that we have prepared together. What of these meals are we going to make? Or do you want to do it yourself? Because that's totally fine too. Just, but I think sometimes we have a tendency to overreact in some of those situations. But coming back and repairing that was so important for me. He literally didn't know. He was like not at all clued into the fact that what he had said and how he said it was hurtful to me. And so I had to bring that up to him and tell him, and this is why, oh, it's because you said it this way. And then he was able to be more conscious of how he says things, be more in tune with the conversation when it's happening, so that that doesn't happen as much. And then I am more aware of how sensitive I can be to those tones. And then I can take a minute, and then in the next kind of conversation, I can say, hold on, what I heard is that what you meant?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's such a gift. That's such a gift.
It's so great.
To your partner or anyone to say, this is what I heard, and I'm giving you the opportunity to let me know if that's what you meant. And when you, talk about vindication. When you see the like, huh, on their face, you're like, oh, okay, yep. Versus like, no, like, well, I didn't mean, I don't know, just,
yeah.
It's, and really almost always, no, always, I'm going to say always, when our feelings come into play, they are always reflecting our past. They are never just in now. They are reacting to a past of hurt and moments of pain, and when that moment exposes that pain, exposes that wound. And of course, the other person can take responsibility for their part 100%. And we got to take responsibility for our own healing and our own information, because if we are, let's say, reacting a lot, so I know we talk about two truths being true, and sometimes it needs to just be clarified. Is this other person is a relationship with this other person unrealistic because I'm always going to react to it? Or is this relationship I want to stay in, and do I need to start taking responsibility for my reactions to really determine what's going on there? And again, plugging therapy or a life coach, or there's going to be other ways to access it, but the point is to just not keep it in your own brain, because it is truly impossible for you to see the whole perspective of what's what. Was it what about it? What was it my past? Was it not my past? What piece of my past? Like, there's no way for you to make sense of all of that as one person who just experienced it in that moment. You can't be the director, the narrator, the editor, the producer, the actor. That, like, you can't be all of those things. That's not possible. Unrealistic.
I just want to say one more thing, and we may not, like, leave this in or whatever, but what you just said reminds me of the homework that I have from my therapist, which is to identify in my brain when I have these moments of like strong emotion, if it's attached to a feeling of like inadequacy, or I didn't do this right, or I can't do that because it won't be right. Is that coming from my past? And so I think, like, maybe when we're doing that kind of exploration work, if you have like a specific person or diagnosis or issue that you can like label it as, oh, that's because of whatever, then maybe that would be a little easier. I don't know.
Yeah.
I literally don't know, because I told you it's my homework. I'm figuring it out. Okay,
100%.
thank you.
Until next time.
Okay, until next time.
From our two human hearts.
Human hearts.